Okay, and then finally, guys, we're going to look at the last two lines, the rhyming couplet at the end of this sonnet. Proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I have been one acquainted with the night. So I think the idea of the time was neither wrong nor right is reference to Hamlet, when Hamlet, in the Shakespearean play Hamlet, talks about how the time is out of joint. And Hamlet, famous for his to be or not to be speech. And I've talked about this speech before when we talked about Poppies in July. To be or not to be, that is the question. And he talks about how his pain and his grief and his sadness is so intense that he can't understand feelings anymore. He can't process any interactions with people anymore. He feels like he can't really trust people because they don't feel the grief that he feels. And he says to die, to sleep perchance to dream. So it'd be worth dying if it meant that he could dream, if he could feel, if something good could come, if he could have some reprieve from it. And in that same speech, he talks about how, or in that same play, he talks about how the time is out of joint, and that time isn't what we understand it to be, because things have been so crazy with his life at the moment. And I think maybe we could make reference to our own current situation now. We struggle to know what time it is, when's lunchtime, what's the right time to go to bed, are we awake half the night because we're sleeping late during the day, all of these kind of things, because we're out of our structure, out of our routine. So Frost talks about here how the time was neither wrong nor right. So everything is just out of whack. He's out of routine. He's discombobulated, confused, alienated, and everything is just a little out of whack for him right now. And especially with grief and sadness, that we can find it really difficult to process information. And then that's why I suppose people talk about how it's important to stick to a routine and stick to structure. And Frost finishes the poem exactly how he started it. I have been one acquainted with the night. So the journey may be similar to the road not taken. Talks about how he talks about it quite honestly and quite frankly, and he owns his emotions, owns his feelings. This is how I felt. I have been one acquainted with the night. Let's not forget that it happens, and he's using the past tense here. It has happened. This is how I once felt, but I have come through it. So I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So we can find some links and connections between his poems and his ideas here.